Hey guys, RockingTheBlade here once again. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the RTB podcast. What's up, guys? I know I haven't done one in a while, but just due to recent events that happened, especially the last one, which I really want to wait on. I have a lot to talk about today in this episode of the RTB podcast. Especially the last story because I want to make sure what I was hearing was correct because I want to just say one thing and end up being something else and end up looking stupid. Also, sorry more of the motto Philip DeFranco / Monday Matt for the standpoint that it's better to be accurate than to be first. Because, I would have the views and been first out there to be amongst the first people to talk about it, but then I would have been spreading misinformation, which is happening in the news a lot as it is, so I won't be part of the solution, not part of the problem. So with that being said, let's jump right to these stories. The first one being about Call of Duty Black Ops 4. And you're all knowing where I'm going with this, but let me just throw my 2 cents in there. And that being, they're adding a, the whole zombie map thing, which of course is kind of traditional. Call of Duty, they've been doing that since, I think, World at War, the World War II one, where focused, I believe, on, I think the one where we're focused on the Vietnam one. No, not World War II, on the Vietnam one, World at War, and they're doing zombies modes for that ever since. I believe that's where it started, and of course they're adding one here, of course, in Black Ops. It's a popular mode in Call of Duty, which is fun. I mean, I played a few rounds in the other versions that were available in Call of Duty, and it was fun. And adding that, of course, they're adding, of course, the traditional multiplayer, but also adding a new Battle Royale mode, which is becoming popular thanks to games like PUBG and Fortnite. But just nothing wrong with that, but the biggest problem with that is that there's no single player campaign. I understand with Black Ops 3 why they didn't want to do it for the 360 and PS3 versions. That's more to encourage people to get the next gen one. At least the next gen one had that option, but it just took out of Black Ops 4 entirely, which sucks because it's amazing to me how Activision tends to always ruin games that are great. I mean, look what's happening with Destiny 2. I mean, look what happened to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and now this. It's just they don't know how to take care of their own franchises. It's insane to me. It's just, I used to love Activision so much. They were such an amazing company. I really love and adored them. I mean, they're the same people that brought me Transformers Devastation, War and Fall Cybertron. I loved, the James Bond games they did, like Quantum of Solace, Bloodstone, and of course my favorite one, the GoldenEye Reloaded. GoldenEye Reloaded. I beat that game like 3 times, 2 times on the Wii and 2 times on the Wii, both on normal and hard mode. I even got the PS3 version, the Reloaded one, and beat it again. I mean, that's how much I love the damn game. And the other, of course, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series. I mean, they did a lot of, they brought a big part of my childhood. Now they're just like, of course, Call of Duty, which I like too, but now it's just like, whatever, as long as it makes money. And it just pisses me off that there's like just whatever attitude, and I hate that shit. Because when they do a product right, it comes out amazing. I think the last great game they did was enjoyable by people was Transformers Devastation. That was a fun action game. But then haven't done one like that, kind of like that was good sense or anything like that. I mean, Call of Duty's games have been hit and miss here and there, but like I always enjoyed the Black Ops games. I love Black Ops 1. I love Black Ops 2. Black Ops 3 to me is criminally underrated. I did a whole Let's Play on my channel, by the way, if you want to check that out. I had a good time. I had a great time with it. And it ended to where it could have been like a sequel, kind of like with Ghost. Ghost I understand because, no one liked that one. But Black Ops 3, there's a good amount of people that don't like that play and / like that game. And enjoyed the single-player campaign. And it kind of lets itself open for a sequel, like I mentioned again. But now we might never get that because the new Black Ops 4 is going to have none of that. So I like the Black Ops games because, granted, the regular Call of Duty games have this, good versus evil story. But the Black Ops games, I don't know, they were weird but different in a good way because they focus on the psychological aspects of the war and stuff and did things differently in a different style. And I really enjoyed it, but now we're not going to have that because they want to chase a trend. They want to follow the oh, look at PUBG, look at Fortnite, look how successful those games are. Let's follow in their lead. Why? I mean, you're Call of freaking Duty, man. You have the main one of your big first person like multiplayer franchises. Who gives a fuck what PUBG and Fortune's doing? It's cool that you're adding a mode like that, but don't take away the stuff that made your games great in the first place. Now is this them just chasing a trend, and it's pissing me off. Cause I was like, I don't care because I like the Black Ops series. Now the first time I'm not gonna get a Black Ops game, and I think it's probably the last time I'm ever gonna probably get a Call of Duty game. Because people are like, whatever about the series, and if you don't care, if you guys don't care for it anymore, I understand. But like, I liked it, especially the Black Ops games. Now it's like, it's just like Fortnite and PUBG. It's like trying to chasing a trend of being like everything else. It's just boring, and I don't want to buy that kind of stuff. That's not for me. For people that like that, good for you, and I hope you enjoy it and keep playing it and have fun. But I don't care for stuff like that. I like what I like, and I like what Call of Duty was doing. Now there does nothing more than trend chasers, and it sucks. I wish they just give a shit about keeping their games what they are, making them great instead of doing the shit they're doing. Just Activision, I'm just so disappointed in you guys. It's not even funny. Speaking of disappointment, our next story is about EA, which feels that single-player campaigns are really marketable, or not can make a lot of money, or not people, or slash just they don't want to do it anymore. From what I'm hearing from an article, that is not profitable enough, and no people don't really care about that. That is a load of bullshit, especially considering on my top 10 lists, what I've been doing lately for this channel, my last two games of the year, which on 2017, 2016, the number one, my game of the years were single player campaign games, which I'll spoil right now. On 2016 it was Uncharted 4, and 2017 it was Persona 5, both single player games. So it's BS to think that, oh, no one cares about it. Look at God of War. God of War, I think, like, shipped, like, I think, or either sold or shipped around 3.5 to 3.6 million copies within, like, a couple of days. That's insane. The new God of War game. Hell, I think Atlas just announced they just shipped 2.2 million copies of Persona 5. I mean, these they're not like the big numbers, but they're still pulling in big numbers. That's nothing to scoff at. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I mean, look at the critical acclaim that God of War is getting. It's getting a lot of 9s and 10s, and it deserves it. I recently played it. It is phenomenal. And people still love and like single-player campaign games. So I hear EA's acting like, oh, there's not a market for it, and no one really cares for it. That's BS. People love those type of games and still playing it. Hell, I'm playing it, and I love it to death. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait for The Last of Us and Red Dead Redemption. I can't wait to see what they do, because those games still have a market. If you do it right, they still have a market. Hell, I mean, I know there's a Far Cry fatigue, but Far Cry 4 was amazing. Far Cry 5 was amazing. I recently played it. It was fun as hell. Granted, I haven't gotten the fatigue, because the only other Far Cry game I played was Blood Dragon, which was also fun, by the way. Definitely get that game. And that was a fun one. So single player campaign games do really, really well. They're, so don't like. So I hear EA saying, "Oh, no one cares." They do care. I mean, look at Witcher 3. Witcher 3. In fact, to further prove my point, for a while, the reason why in the beginning of the Xbox One and PS4 life cycles, we're getting a lot of like ports and remasters, because a lot of developers felt that PC and mobile were the future. And considering how Steam is running their websites, with the recent news, which don't worry, that's the last story we're going to get to, and mobile being what they're doing now, especially with the Harry Potter game, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, look up the recent Jim Sterling video when he talks about Harry Potter game that came out for mobile. Yikes! That didn't turn out to be the case. In fact, the main developers changed their mind to start focusing on making console games. Were two games, which is Fallout 4 and Witcher 3. In fact, I mean, to prove my point, Soul Calibur 6, is having the main character from Witcher 3 be the guest character. I mean, come on. And also, Kratos was in the 2011 version of Mortal Kombat, only in the PlayStation version. But still, that proves my point that single player campaigns still matter. Hell, we're getting a third Tomb Raider game called Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I'm looking forward to. It comes out this September. Can't wait. So they're still profitable. They still make a lot of money. So yeah, not the big bucks, but still they make a good amount of money. So to say that they don't care, that not they don't care that they don't, and you shouldn't make them. That's crazy coming from EA. That they don't give it that, because the fact that they made some great single player campaign games themselves, like Mass Effect and Dragon Age with their BioWare games. So why would you say stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? People care about the single player campaign games. It's still a market for them. Hell, I mean, look at this. Look how much Mario and Breath of the Wild sold. Hell, Breath of the Wild was dominating last year, the game of the year. A single player campaign game. You know, Zelda was dominating. They won a lot of video game awards. So how can you sit there and say that there's no market for it? It doesn't make a lot of money. Are you kidding me? There's a market for it, man. In fact, you make two of the biggest single player campaign franchises ever. So how can you sit there and say stuff like that? and it's like EA, man, and other people that fall from grace. So what they did with Star Wars and what they're doing with their recent games is like, ugh, this is ridiculous. Star Wars gambling simulator. That's what it is. But yeah, man, people still care about single player campaigns. They're amazing. People to this day are like willing to eat soup with their hands to get a crack at Half-Life 3, for crying out loud. I mean, whenever Valve announces that game comes out, that game will sell millions and millions of copies. So come on, EA, really? Don't sit there and say that there's no place for single player campaigns in the current market. That's BS. Alright. Hold on. Excuse me, I just had dinner. Now the final story. And the reason why I took a long time to kind of get to this, because I wanted to make sure that it was accurate, and when I tell you is what's going on. So Koopa and I were kind of chilling in the house one day, and basically one of the YouTube people, I guess it was kind of clickbait, was basically saying, I don't know the YouTuber that put this, basically it's like that. Basically the title said that Steam wanted to ban anime games. And at first, all anime games, because they all thought it was porn. And at first, I'm like, I got really fucking angry. So you need to tell me the newest, the My Hero Academia game, which by the way is coming out in August. They're not gonna allow that on Steam because they think it's a porn game. That's fucking stupid. Considering the fact that anime games, especially games like Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, pull in millions of dollars. That'll be millions and millions of dollars. They'll be denying themselves if they do a stupid move like that. You know, considering they can do a simple thing called research and look into it, they should know that all anime is porn. But then, thankfully, since I wait, that's what I first thought. But thankfully, I waited, did more research to find out what's going on. Apparently, that's not the case. It's visual novel games that's being affected. Or the more risque ones, or just visual novels that have some risque in it in general. Steam's yeah, you gotta clean that up or within 2 weeks, otherwise we're gonna remove them completely. And my answer to that is, fucking really? Steam, really? Considering the fact that on your page there are clone games running rampant, games that barely work, games that what they'll do will be the same game, but they'll retile it so it could be in your front page as news that have a higher chance of people buying it. It's fucking ridiculous to me. It's so ridiculous to me that instead of focusing / fixing your current problems, you're going to remove stuff that's actually... Look, it's not my cup of tea. I'll be the first one to admit that. But based on the ones I've seen, they actually give a damn about this shit and put effort into them. So to sit there and say oh, this is bad, it's just ridiculous. It's fucking stupid to me. It's come on, man, you're attacking the wrong thing. Go after the people that rip off other games and harass and threaten to want to sue customers because they're calling the games out as as shit, or just, hey, you're ripping it off from a different game or whatever. It's this Steam store. It's like Steam is back in the day. If you get your indie game on Steam back in the day, it's like, oh my god, you did something amazing. Now it seems like any Joe Blow off the street could put a game up there about anything. It's gotten that pathetic. I mean, it's gotten so bad that a game like Stardew Valley, which did well on Steam thanks to good word of mouth, but developers sat there and on interviews, yeah, we did well on Steam, but we did better on console. Now, before, they want to get on Steam, but now they're like, whatever. They'd rather be getting on console because games like that, and there's a game I think called Trey Blossom, I could be wrong, which is like a clone of A Link to the Past, but it doesn't have to be its own thing. I mean, it did okay on Steam, but it made double the money on the Switch. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because, PlayStation, which its market's kind of suffering a little bit, but mostly it's pretty functional for the most part. Xbox and Nintendo, its marketplace, it's smooth, it's very nice, and you can find what you're looking for. So their games get noticed, especially in some places they tend to highlight the news, and Nintendo and PlayStation, Xbox are good at highlighting, hey, this is what's new, and they only, and they have a harder chance of, getting the money that they need. Where Steam is like, it's just a whole bunch of games, lists, and like most of it is shit. And unfortunately, the good games, the good indie games that that are there, that are which is in Steam, get lost in the sea of bullshit. So so instead of like going after those people, really cleaning up Steam, and I thought for sure they're gonna do it, considering the fact that they were gonna go back into making games again. So I thought, they're kind of like, prep for that. They're gonna clean up the store, make it look more presentable. But then you're gonna go after visual novel games because it's too pornographic. Oh, and the reason why they're kind of doing it because PayPal is like, oh, we're not gonna let you buy that shit with your money and stuff. And you're catering to them. It's like, Steam, you're too big for PayPal. You don't fucking need PayPal. I hardly know anybody that uses PayPal. Most people I know use debit or credit cards. Since when the hell it's like, PayPal don't need you. You don't need PayPal. PayPal needs you. Buy PayPal, whatever. And eventually they'll get hit from it, and then they'll change their minds. You're bigger than them, Steam. You don't need PayPal. Fuck them. And fuck the SJW community that, well, it's offensive, that's why I want this removed. Fuck that shit. Then don't buy the product. In fact, most of these games that are risque, these visual novels, they warn you from, hey, this is for mature audiences only. Do not buy unless you're 18 or above. They tell you up front what you're getting into. And it's, you know what I'm saying? And like I mentioned before, these games have more effort and more soul into them than half of these first-person shooter Minecraft zombie clones I've seen like a billion times on Jimpressions or on the Jim Sterling show, which he really gets to the filth of these crappy Steam games. Like, holy crap, there's so much of them. That's why I'm not surprised I'm hearing that these indie developers, yeah, they're grateful they're on Steam, but they'd rather be on console because they have a higher chance of making, not a game more noticeable, but more money. You know what I'm saying? It's a Steam. It's like you got your priorities in the wrong order. It's crazy. It's to kind of further prove my point. It's bad being like the only market out there for PC, because like I know I'm going to wrestling analogy, but here's my point before I end this. WWE or WWF, whatever you want to call them, what it used to be called before they changed the name. I mean, when they were in the midst of the Monday Night Wars between WCW and between them and WCW, they had a lot of good. I mean, wrestling was at its highest. They did a lot of good product. They did a lot of high quality matches, quality pay-per-views, a quality product. But once they took them over in 2001, they've been putting like whatever wrestling shows and matches. For crying out loud, AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, great wrestlers, their match ends in them both kicking each other in the balls, and it just ends in a no count out and a no contest because they couldn't stand up to meet the 10 count. Like dumb shit like that for like in terms of like wrestling endings. It's like, really? And yet you're wondering why shows like Ring of Honor and New Japan are slowly creeping up on you. And to kind of further prove my point, wrestlers like Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, and the Young Bucks are getting Funko Pops of themselves. which coming out in July, which by the way, which was trending on Twitter. That's how much of a big deal they become, and why New Japan and Ring of Honor are becoming more and more of a big deal and an alternative to WWE. You know what I'm saying? Because if they don't change soon, people are it's gonna die off soon. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and then what I'm hearing from recent reports, when that during the main event of Black Hush between Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe, when that happened, like most of the crowd left because they didn't go give a shit about Roman Reigns, and they're not promoting the product right. So they're suffering for it. But since they're the leader, they're being like whatever. Just go back to my point with Steam. Since they're the leader in in PC gaming, that's why they're like whatever. Which it's not a good idea, because eventually there's gonna be a competitor out there who will gladly take your spot and will steal the rug pull the rug underneath you before you're losing money. So at the end of the day, Steam, you better change your product for the better, because if you don't, someone will be out. There'll be a competitor who will gladly take your spot. And also, as a quick message to PlayStation before I go, fix your shop, please. You know what I'm saying? Because I recently, my older brother and I were shopping for movies, and my PlayStation restarted. Thankfully, nothing got damaged. But it's like, what the hell? I'm just shopping for movies. It shouldn't. I could see if I was playing God of War, I was like finding like 10 dragons, and the system's chugging because there's so much happening on the screen. Okay, I understand that it'll maybe freeze on that or restart on that, but like really, me buying 10 movies and that happened, and now it's getting to the point where we're like, I was trying to buy a gamer profile, and unfortunately I can't search for it manually. I gotta to go through a list, and twice this happened where it'll boot me out and put me back in, and I gotta start all over again. So PlayStation, please do an update to fix your shop, please, because it was a lot. Granted, at the beginning it was a lot better than PS3, a vast improvement over PS3, but now it's slowly going. I'm seeing the cracks, and it's slowly going into shit. Can you please fix it? I'd be greatly appreciated. And again, Steam, fix your shit, and don't do this to the visual novel community that likes that stuff, because they're upfront about their product, and it's a lot better than what's out there. And at the end of the day, if you don't fix your shit or fix how you run things in the store, someone else will gladly take over and take your money. And trust me, it will happen. Alright guys, hope I finally got that off my chest. Hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me your thoughts on all the topics I talked about. Alright guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to rate, comment, subscribe. As always, RockingTheBlade signing out. Hope to see you guys again real soon. Peace out. Have a great day.